Hey, hey. What's going on? No nudes. See, I have no intro. I have to work on my new intro because I made one, but something happened. Hey, Jack's in the house. Now we can begin. Oh, look who it is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so what happened was one of the music that I picked, I didn't like it when it uploaded. It sounded like dirty, gritty, like noise. So I moved to another song from another place, and I liked it. Problem was, it looks like on the thing for where I made the editing, it looks like I got rid of that other song and that I picked the one song, but apparently no, both songs like kind of were added together, and it just sounds like a bunch of jumbled ass noise. So you're just gonna get me singing, or luckily there's a bunch of you here. Yes, you need no intro. Oh, I need no intro. I'm Jill. How's everybody doing? Let me put the goal up. Okay, we gotta do the goal, guys. We gotta do the goal. I sound like a jackass. Know what I sound like? This jackass teacher I had who is also, yeah, I thought that's what that was when I saw, I'm not getting involved whatsoever, but it is, Mike is, always welcome here. Because I personally don't have an issue. If people don't like me or want to be around me because of that, that's, I'm sorry, but, it is what it is, right? So I was looking for something earlier, and I saw, like, I guess it was like, what do you call it? Like, sorry, Jesus, hold on. I'm trying to type and talk. I'm just not a good monkey. What can I say? Okay. Like, community, and I saw one, and then I saw something else, and I didn't know if they were connected or not. Yeah. So. Yes, and you sent it to me. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was a little confused. I wasn't sure what was going on there, Anonymous. But apparently Anonymous is too tired to get, deed down. And she sent me the text that's supposed to go to the D. And I was like, what in the hell is this shit here? Oh, no, nudes. It can't be as bad as me. Believe me. I started singing that song. Well, you might not know it from where you're from, but Take the Money and Run from the Steve Miller Band. That was you, Jack, that heard it, right? Oh, God, that's so embarrassing. So, just for those who did know, if you don't know, please don't ask, okay? Not at this point, all right? So yesterday happened, guys, and it wasn't good, but it was like I'm holding on to. There's some kind of hope for him, and I'm holding on for that hope, like for dear fucking life, That's all I can say right now, and so. If you can, guys, just send prayers and very good vibes to somebody named James. Just think of him as the guy who gives me the StreamYard. Okay, just think of him as that, and somebody I care a lot for. They're a lot older than me, but that's all I can really say right now. Let's just move on. I know I spoke to Jack a little bit about it, and he's been wonderful, and I want to thank you for that, Jack. Really, like, you've been great. Fantastic, really, and I appreciate it. All right, we need merch. I have like no views, guys. I have no views, and I don't care. That's the funniest part. Like, who cares? Like, I just have a good time on here. This isn't like my life's thing. But hey, drunk baby, how are you, sweetheart? Oh, and thanks for the hearts, guys. Thank you. Oh, you must have heard. Well, thank you, drunk baby. If you don't know, please don't ask. That would sound great coming from me. If you don't know, don't ask. Or if you don't want the answer, don't ask the question. Like, what were you doing that got you over in that situation? Don't ask. Because whatever it is, you don't want to know, right? Okay. So, Anonymous is too tired. Okay, breaking news. Anonymous is too tired to get Deed down. So we have her with us today. Woo! Okay, so let's jump into something I've been wanting to do. Okay, and I've had the thingamajiggy open again, by the way. There was another update to my computer, and it shut down all my tabs that I had open over here on Chrome and over on Windows, right? So I was like, oh, god damn. Luckily, my school stuff is cool. Everything's cool there. All right. So I swear that everybody and their mother is mentioned somewhere in those Epstein files, because he kept records like, I hate bringing this up, but like the Nazis kept records, if you know what I mean. Like, holy crap. I think, in my opinion, he kept those records for the reason of, I got this on you. So if I go down, so are you. Now, I personally believe that somebody, took him out, that he didn't just do it himself. Okay. That's my opinion. Anybody else want to chime in? You agree, Ron? Yeah. Oh, Jack, absolutely. Yeah. 100. Yeah. I agree with that. It's like, it reminds me of like Hoover and all his records. You think he's alive? Oh, you and Anonymous need to get together and hang out because you're both nuts. All right, moving along. I'm just kidding. No way, Jack. I wouldn't allow Anonymous to get to hang out with you first. Okay. No, it ain't gonna happen. Okay. So, you know what's funny? In the little tiny circle, it looks like Jack has a pirate's hat on, doesn't it? But it's just a shadow, and is still alive and playing Fortnite. I can't with you two. Oh God, now I got two of them. We got two, guys. I hope I will never mess with your opinion. So now, when they dropped the files, I wish you know what? I meant to save this when I saw it on the phone. So, let me see. Hold on if I can pull this up. So give me a second. Just give me a secondo to go into my history and see if I can pull this off, because I was so pissed off at this. Okay. Because I have, what the hell? Oh, he's cutting something. I thought he was doing something, else. Oh, wait, no, it was this. This is it. I got it. Okay. Let me put my earbuds in. Now, his sidekick, his procurer, and his woman who clearly doesn't mind trafficking for her man. First of all, I would die before I was with a man who, does this shit. Okay, hold on now. What was it called? I feel like, okay. All right. I like her because she
DOJ released.
Okay. So, she does like prison. She was in prison and now she's like a totally different person, and she's awesome. Okay. So, here we go. You see this shit? Ready? All right.
A video of Ghislaine Maxwell in jail. They released it with the Epstein files, and like if you look at it, it looks like she is doing hard time in a cell by herself. That's hard time. But I want to point out that this video was recorded in 2020, and where she is now is actually nicknamed Club Fed. Right, the federal prisons rule being that people who have a sex trafficking or sex involved charge cannot be at a minimum security prison. Despite that, she is. Okay, not only that, but she is getting special privileges. She gets unlimited toilet paper. She gets to use the chaplain's office as a special place to have visitors outside of visiting hours. And this is an open yard prison, right? Like you go to and fro, whether you're going to yoga or classes or whatever. And at one point, she had her mail and her meals delivered to her cell, which that's not because she's locked up in a cell. Apparently, when she first got there, the warden held like a big town hall, which is where he talks to all the inmates at once. And he said that the inmates were not to talk to reporters about Ghislaine Maxwell. And it turns out one girl did, and they immediately moved her to a maximum security prison. I feel like the DOJ is trying to pull a slick one and show us this video of her doing hard time when she's not really. And I just need to point that out. 2 days ago, the DOJ.
Now, I just, damn, I'm running out of room. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys that because, Alan Wood, a Club Fed that they call is Allen Wood, and that's in Pennsylvania. Oh my God, look at me. I know where all the prisons are. God help me, please. Some people did find him playing Fortnite and he blocked his player thing. I don't know what that means, but okay. 4chan or someone took screenshot. It's been all really. Well, you know what though? I wouldn't put it past, because remember what I was just saying. He has something on like a lot of people, and for that not to get out there somewhere, But what I don't get is why he let his woman go to prison too. Why didn't he include her in the package, if that's the case? She went to another. I thought she went to Allenwood too. All I know is I don't know. Israeli assets. What the hell's going on in that part of the conversation? Oh, Jill is pissed off again. Here you go. Oh man. Oh, I love it. You guys are funny. Hey, Fernette, if I didn't say hello. Hello, sweetheart. Okay. So, anyway, I just thought I'd show that because she is getting privileges. And I know it sounds ridiculous. Unlimited toilet paper. It's not ridiculous. Trust me. And I've never been to actual prison, just jail, And come to think of it, I swear to God, I did more time in jail than people I know that have had like felonies have done. It's ridiculous, but that's the one. That's my yet. That's like my one yet that I don't have. If I went back out there, that would probably happen, because I used to have a lot of yets, and one by one, they were gone. Okay, so anyway, let's go. Now I have goals. Oh, shut up, Jack. Now I have goals. That's Ronnie, if that's how you meant it, I hope that's how I took it. But now I have goals, and that's it. All right, let's get into this, because Paris Hilton is not going down alone. And, I used to not like her, but I started really looking into her more and looking into a lot of things. And, the money that she actually has, the fact that she's got money the way she does is, yeah, she had to use connections, but she actually only got, all I know, to us, only 3 million. But when the big grandfather died in the Hilton family, he was worth, I forget, something $billion. Okay. And he put 98% of it went to charity. So the rest of it had to be split upon all his kids, then his grandkids, and then his great grandkids, all that. So at the end of the day, it's 3 million. She made more money on her own. And one of the reasons that she would wear her designer clothes and stuff, when she was in that Provo place, she would be put with no clothes on, and she was called 127 or something, and they strip your identity, they break you down. And she would if she got put in isolation, they would take all her clothes off sometimes, and guys that work there would just come and stare at her. I mean, God. And she would fantasize about what she was going to do, and that she was going to wear designer clothes, and she was never going to wear the same outfit twice. All right. So I have like more respect for her. And yes, I believe that Kim rode her coattails to fame. That was all she ever cared about Paris for, So Paris is not going down alone. Okay. So that's our first one today. And then I've got some good other shit for us. All right. Let's go.
the release, but they're going to say, you know
subject to
Tom
redaction.
Hanks, it's unfair that he was mentioned because
the law
he was eating
says
Skittles.
subject to redaction. Subject to redaction.
And we all know what that means. That's to protect.
That's why I'm saying you will never be satisfied with what's released.
Paris Hilton isn't just talking to investigators. She's naming names. And the first one on her list? Kim Kardashian. We've learned from sources close to the case that Paris has been quietly cooperating with federal agents for weeks, handing over what she claims is proof Kim wasn't just at Epstein's private gatherings. She was part of the operation. And now, the question isn't if Kim's name is in those files, it's how deep the ties go. This isn't some tabloid whisper. It's a direct contradiction of the image Kim has spent 2 decades crafting. The savvy mogul, the protective mom, the woman who outgrew her past.
Me too, Jack.
But if Paris's claims hold up, that past wasn't just a stepping stone, it was a blueprint. And the people who know, they're not staying quiet anymore. Here's what we know. Paris has spent years denying she ever met Ghislaine Maxwell, despite photos, witness accounts, and even a composer's sworn testimony that Maxwell eyed her as perfect for Jeffrey. But Kim? She's never been asked, because no one's ever had the receipts, until now. Insiders say Paris didn't just confirm her own presence at Epstein's Island, she placed Kim there too, multiple times. And not as a guest, as part of the scene. The same scene that's landed other powerful figures in handcuffs. The real tension here isn't just about who was where, it's about who's talking now. Paris, once the face of early 2000s scandal, is suddenly the one pointing fingers, while Kim, the queen of reinvention, is the one scrambling to contain the fallout.
They're mentally messed up.
They are.
Whether you got a $2 billion budget or you got a 200,000, everybody's done. They're going crazy. Suicidal.
And the timing? Impeccable. Because right as Paris starts speaking, Kim's legal team is firing off lawsuits like confetti. First, it was Ray J, her ex, who went live claiming the Kardashians were worse than Diddy and under federal probe. Within days, Kim and Kris Jenner hit him with a defamation suit, calling his statements blatantly false. But here's the thing. Ray J didn't pull that claim out of thin air. He referenced an ongoing investigation, one that insiders say is quietly tied to the same network Paris is now exposing. Let's rewind to the Epstein files drop earlier this year. Thousands of pages, names we've heard before, Trump, Clinton, Prince Andrew, but also new details about how deep the connections ran. And buried in those documents, alleged travelogues, party lists, and witness statements that don't just mention Paris. They mention Kim, not as a victim, not as a bystander, but as someone who, according to multiple sources, was there by choice.
Yeah, so you could be there and just be there, or you could be there and end up being a party favor, as Paris put it somewhere that I looked into all this. Could have been here, I don't know, but no, I don't think it was here. So the thing is, she looks so classy, but if you look at her face, my God, they must have. I don't think she has had work done, but I do think that she has had facials like weekly. Do you know what I mean? And I know that they come to her house, and I know she uses red light therapy, so now I'm wondering, does that work, for real? But I don't know. I have this red light mask. I've never even opened the box. I'm thinking of just selling it on eBay. I'm sorry. I just don't have time to run around with a mask that I look like, Jason from Friday the 13th, and, answering my door or for the maintenance guy or something like that. Just no. Okay. Hey, I got nice skin. So yeah. All right, let's go. Too bad everybody left.
Again, there was new names in some of the emails that I think investigators need to look at. In particular, I jumped on the name of a modeling agent who, in a similar fashion to Jean-Luc Brunel, who brought underage girls from overseas to Jeffrey Epstein for abuse. There was another man. What was interesting about this other individual is that he also apparently provided young models for Donald Trump's modeling agency.
And not just once.
Modeling
the same sources say Kim's name
agency,
appears in
my
contexts that go beyond mere attendance. Contexts that align with the kind of
She would
procurement
do
allegations that have
anything
already
for
taken down
fame.
others. Now, let's talk about the timing of Kim's legal offensive. The moment Ray J's livestream went viral, her team moved fast. But why? Because Ray J wasn't just throwing shade. He was referencing something specific, something that, if true, would connect Kim not just to Epstein's circle, but to the same federal probe that's been quietly expanding since Diddy's trial. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Paris isn't just talking to the press. She's talking to investigators.
You guys
the
are
same
very
ones who've been
lucky.
piecing together
No
the Epstein
nudes
network
in
for
Fernet.
years. The same ones who, according to leaks, have been asking about Kim for months. We can't ignore the parallels between Paris and Kim's early careers. Both grew up in elite circles, both had parents who moved in the same powerful orbits, and both were young, ambitious, and in the exact places Epstein's network liked to operate. But here's the difference. Paris has always been the one caught in the crosshairs. Her name in the files? Expected.
It's layers upon layers. It's those
Like
Russian
an
nesting
onion.
dolls.
Oh,
And you
I
open
love
it, there's another
those.
one in there. And you open, there's another one in there.
Corruptions at all time, bro. The Epstein files.
I heard there's no files. I heard it's a hoax. And then all of a sudden, he's going to release the files. Well, I thought there was no files.
Man,
He wants an investigation
Right.
now.
What
The
happened?
photos at the parties? Old news. But Kim, she's the one who spent years positioning herself as the exception. The one who got out, who built an empire on being untouchable. And now, Paris is saying that's not just a lie, it's a cover. Let's look at the timeline. In 2000, Paris was photographed with Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald Trump at a New York fashion show. That same year, Kim was just starting to orbit Paris's world, working as her stylist, her assistant, her shadow in every photo. By 2003, Kim's tape with Ray J leaked. A move that, according to insiders, wasn't an accident, but a calculated play.
I hate, though, when they say it leaked. It didn't leak. Okay? Your mommy watched you. Oh, this is disgusting. Picked out which angle you looked better at and then put it out. Spoke to and made a deal with a company to put it out. So you tell me, with a non-disclosure agreement, of course, but you tell me how that's it was leaked. I mean, if Ray J only knew how much that was going to ruin him, because these idiots saw, well, not idiots, but obviously, but they saw what somebody did to Paris and destroyed her inside, because that she didn't know she was recorded. She didn't know, and that guy put it out there, and that must have felt like, oh my God, the world was ending. You know, now the whole world can see me looking vulnerable, and this is what Kim and her mother's bright idea was. Let's make a tape. It gave Paris a name. She already had a name, quote unquote. Idiot.
And who was Kim's mentor during that time? Paris. The same Paris who, by her own admission, was being eyed by Maxwell as perfect for Jeffrey. So when Kim's name starts appearing in the same circles, the same parties, the same private islands, the question isn't just whether she was there, it's what she did while she was. And then there's the Diddy connection. We all saw how Kim's name surfaced during his trial, not as a witness, not as a victim, but as someone whose name kept coming up in hushed conversations about procurement, about parties, about the kind of favors that don't get talked about in court.
Her, doesn't it? She probably wants to get out early. So I think that we have more digging to do. I think the DOJ transparency effort here is the right thing. But the reason it's on a Friday, Will, is I think there are no smoking guns. There's other places we have to look.
Well, Buck, you appropriately.
The same kind of favors Paris is now alleging Kim was involved in. And let's not forget, when Diddy's legal troubles exploded, Kim was quick to distance herself.
Quick?
But according to sources, she wasn't just distancing.
My
She
God,
was cleaning house, closing accounts, destroying files, shutting down anything that could tie her to that world. The same world Paris is now dragging into the light. Now, here's where it gets even more explosive. Paris isn't just talking about the past, she's talking about the present. About how Kim's team has been working overtime to bury connections, to pressure witnesses, to make sure certain names never see the light of day. And the most damning part? Paris isn't doing this out of spite. She's doing it because, according to her, she's tired of being the only one left holding the bag. While Kim plays the doting
Good.
mom and the aspiring lawyer, Paris is the one whose life gets picked
please,
apart
with
every time a
that.
new file drops. And if Kim's name is in those files the way Paris claims it is, the fallout won't just be personal, it'll be legal. We've seen this playbook before.
Miss
When the heat gets too
Lawyer,
close,
oh
the lawsuits
God,
start
it
flying.
just kills
First
me.
Ray J, now rumors of a coming legal battle against Paris. But here's the problem. Paris isn't some random ex or a bitter rival. She's someone with first-hand knowledge, with
Ruining
photos, with witnesses,
Marilyn.
and, if the leaks are true, with federal backing.
And I think these things like Epstein, and there's probably a bunch of other similar operations that are being run, they provide you with like a really good time, or maybe you're a high profile, extremely wealthy individual, and it's hard for you to get hosed. And some guy tells you, hey, we've got everything covered. You know, you come to my island, nothing, you know, what happens on the island stays on the island.
And if she's handed over even a fraction of what she claims to have, Kim's team can't spin this away. Not when the FBI is involved. Not when the same investigators who took down Epstein and Maxwell are now asking about Kim. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The Epstein files aren't just about one man. They're about a network. A network that, according to the latest drops, included politicians, celebrities, and yes, even reality TV stars who knew exactly what they were walking into. Kim's name in those files wouldn't just be a
Reality
scandal.
TV
It would be a confirmation
stars.
of the whispers, the rumors, the quiet deals made in private rooms. And if Paris is telling the truth, the Kardashian empire didn't just begin with a tape. It began with a choice, one that Kim has spent 2 decades trying to erase. But here's the thing. Kim's not waiting for the truth to come out. She's lawyering up. And the first target? The one person who can bury her for good. Because if Paris has the receipts, and if the feds are listening, then Kim's carefully crafted image isn't just at risk. It's already crumbling.
I want to know how Epstein made the money that he did. I want to know what the transactions are he was involved in. And that should all be something that the Treasury Department, the FBI can get access to. Because in the meantime, what we're left with is Ghislaine Maxwell effectively downplaying this whole thing. Yeah, he was a he hid it from everybody. Nobody else was involved. There's no proof of anything else. There's no blackmail. There's no foreign intelligence.
And the moment that first file hits the public, the world won't just be watching Kim Kardashian. They'll be watching the end of an era, one built on secrets, on silence, and on the kind of deals that only stay buried until someone decides to dig. Kim Kardashian doesn't lose. That's the rule. When the intimate tape leaked, she turned it into a brand. When the marriage to Chris Humphries imploded, she spun it into reality TV gold. But this isn't a scandal she can monetize. Because if Paris's claims stick, we're not talking about a misstep. We're talking about a pattern. And patterns have consequences. Let's talk about timing. Paris's name resurfaces in the Epstein files in late 2024. Within weeks, Kim files a defamation lawsuit against Ray J over his federal RICO comments. Coincidence? Not if you ask the people who've been watching Kim's legal team move like a SWAT unit ever since.
You should do a documentary and be able to tell your own story, because they can't sue you if it's facts.
They can't sue me, period. These isn't facts. This is life. This is me like telling you that it's white and you're saying it's black. And they're like, well, it's blacker than white right now just because we don't want to get in trouble. We're getting cease and desist because we see the paper is white. But they're saying it's black with a cease and desist, and I don't want to.
They're not just silencing Ray J. They're scrubbing. Accounts closed. Files deleted. And a certain church tied to Kris Jenner? Sources say it's not about salvation. It's about plausible deniability. Because when you're facing the kind of scrutiny that comes with federal investigations, you don't just need lawyers. You need an exit strategy. And Kris Jenner has been building one for years. Here's where it gets worse.
They have apparently moved accounts, closed accounts, moved money, done all this crazy shit. Because there's a picture of Kim, probably I think on her Instagram a while back, and she's sitting like on a pile of money, and she's claiming that money came from a night of gambling with this guy, somebody Ho. I'm not trying to make fun of, that's the guy's name, something Ho, some old like Chinese or something billionaire or whatever. I don't know, to be honest. But she supposedly won all this money gambling. No, sweetheart, you didn't. We know where it came from. You got 2 big garbage bags full of cash to do that crypto scam. And you scammed a bunch of people. They lost everything. And then all you had to do, your big punishment was to pay $100,000 fine to the SEC. Now, can you explain? That's nothing for her. She made more money than they even fined her. So where's the loss here? She can't buy a pair of boots? Jesus Christ.
Same flight logs that placed Paris on Epstein's jet, they allegedly placed Kim there too. 3 times. All in 2006, the same year she accidentally became a household name. And the pilot? A man who later testified in Maxwell's trial. You don't think Kim's team knows that? They do. And they're racing to make sure those logs stay buried. Because if they don't, the narrative isn't just about who was on that plane. It's about why. And according to insiders, the answer isn't pretty. But Epstein's Island isn't the only place Kim's name is popping up. Remember Diddy's trial? The one where his freak-off parties became Exhibit A? Insiders say Kim's name was whispered in those courtrooms too. Not as a victim, as a facilitator. And if that's true, then Paris isn't just exposing Kim's past. She's exposing her playbook. The same playbook that turned a leaked tape into a billion-dollar brand. The question is, how many other tapes are out there? And who's on them? Let's connect the dots. In 2006, Kim was still climbing the ladder, still attached to Paris's hip, still the girl in the background of every photo. But by 2007, she was the star. And how did that happen? Not just because of a tape, but because of who she knew, and who she was willing to introduce to each other.
Wow.
Sources familiar with the scene say Kim didn't just attend those gatherings, she helped curate them. And the people she brought in? They weren't just friends. They were connections.
That's amazing.
The kind that powerful men pay for.
It is.
The kind that, if exposed, don't just embarrass you, they destroy you. Now, let's talk about the church. Kris Jenner's ministry has been a punchline for years. A place where the rich and famous go to feel spiritual without the guilt.
Bar exam is 3 months away.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I'm not ready yet.
You keep
I am
failing
feeling
everything.
a little bit
You
overwhelmed.
failed even the little baby bar
Someone from
3
prison was
times.
like, this person put a hit out on your life.
Oh, nobody.
That's better than the dog ate my home.
But according to former staffers,
Shut
it's also
up.
been a place where deals get made, where introductions happen, where certain kinds of donations come with expectations.
Is there any
And if the
color in
FBI is
her?
asking about it now, it's not because they're interested in salvation. It's because they're interested in paper trails, the kind that don't disappear no matter how many lawsuits you file. And speaking of lawsuits, let's not forget who Kim's lawyer is. Alex Hero doesn't just handle defamation cases. He's the guy you call when the walls are closing in. He represented Harvey Weinstein. He's representing Diddy right now. And if he's on Kim's payroll, it's not because she's worried about Ray J's rants. It's because she's worried about what comes next. Because Ray J isn't the only one talking. Paris is talking. Former associates are talking. And the FBI? They're listening. Here's the thing about Kim Kardashian. She's always been 3 steps ahead. When the tape leaked, she controlled the narrative. When the marriages failed, she controlled the narrative. But this time, the narrative is controlling her. Because Paris isn't just throwing accusations. She's handing over evidence.
Yes,
Flight logs,
she
photos,
is.
witness statements. And if even a fraction of it is true, Kim's not just facing a scandal. She's facing a reckoning. And let's not forget the timing of all this. The Epstein files are still dripping out. Diddy's trial just wrapped, but the civil cases are still coming. And Kim? She's in the middle of it all. Not as a bystander, as a player. The kind of player who knows where the bodies are buried. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't be moving so fast to silence everyone who's talking. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
All right, I'm going to stop it here, guys, so we can move on to the other stuff, because pretty much it just kind of goes on from there, but, you know, like almost repeated, if you know what I mean. So said in like a different way, okay? So everybody's leaving. Everybody's leaving me. Where the hell is Anonymous? Did she change her mind? Is she all of a sudden able to get D'd down? Oh, I feel like an idiot doing this. Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Fernette, no nudes, and Jackster. You still here? Oh, you are here. Okay, Anonymous. Oh, who didn't want to get caught up in that. All right, so let's go to this one first. This is something that pisses me off. Oh, we got Ronnie. Oh, yeah. All right. Feeling good. Okay. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. This is going to piss you off, okay? You ready? Let's go.
Her. She's schizophrenic bipolar. She's not taking it. The whole life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she might need some help.
This woman's family brought her to the hospital because she was schizophrenic and bipolar and was having a complete psychotic breakdown. These police officers offered to help. This is Deputy Murillo with the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
She has bipolar. You back up and let me talk.
He kindly yanked her out of the truck, got her on the ground, and then when he went to handcuff her, instead of bringing her arm this way, palms out, he brought her arm the other way and broke her arm. You can hear it snap. Then he handcuffed her. He wrote in his police report, after a brief struggle, I was able to get control of her left arm and place it behind her back, which allowed me to properly and safely detain her. I heard a popping sound, but was unaware of what it was.
Yeah. Oh, really? No nudes.
Welcome back to the channel. This footage is absolutely brutal. It was submitted by Jennifer Ford, the lawyer from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who represents this woman. Obviously, I can't show this uncensored, but I will link the raw footage. I'll also link the full police report, as well as...
I just have to ask No Nudes a quick question. So, No Nudes, coming, you know, you're Swedish, right? You live in Sweden, but you live in Sweden. And is it like everything up there, like those, you know, there's Sweden, Norway, Finland. Do you guys like the three of those countries like very connected, like you know what's going on in Norway, or is it like Sweden and Norway are very hey excellent, or like is it like that, like, you know? Oh, I will. I totally will. So I was just wondering if it like shows up, like what, if it goes on big time in Norway, does it show up in your news? That's all I was like asking. All right, but I am going to Google it. I just want to write that name down in a second. Okay, let me hit this. Oh.
This is the lawsuit that she has filed. This involves Nathalia Granada. She's from Colombia. On October 30th of 2023, she was driven to this hospital by her cousin and her sponsor for immigration purposes, Alex Granada. He was trying to get her help for her severe mental issues. So around 10 a.m. that morning, October 30th, they arrive at this hospital. Due to her mental state, she thought that she would be harmed if she exited the vehicle. Her cousin Alex walks inside the hospital. He asks the paramedic in triage for help in getting her inside the hospital for treatment. The paramedic declined to help her. Instead, he called 911. The 911 call begins with the paramedic stating she's crazy, won't get out of the car. The paramedic told the 911 operator that she was, quote, out of control, but he didn't actually examine her himself. A few minutes later, the first police officer arrives, Deputy Redfeam. Alex asked Deputy Redfeam if he had anyone who speaks Spanish, and he was asking for help.
Hi, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Do you have somebody speak Spanish?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, listen, I'm going through a very tough situation. If you can help.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, no.
Is this your wife?
She's my cousin. My blood cousin. Okay. She just came from Colombia.
from
Mommy. Hey.
I'm just recording so her mom knows.
Hey, amiga. Can you get her to come out here for me?
Mami, que dice que vengas un momentico aquí. Dice que
Mami, aquí.
Aquí. Que salga un momentico, por favor.
Mira, ahí está el cargador. Vamos a llamar a mi mamá.
Deputy Murillo arrived at the scene, and he was aggressive and hostile right from the very beginning. Alex attempted to explain to him that Nathalia was having a breakdown and tried to inform him about her mental illnesses. He didn't want to hear about her mental health and instead instructed Alex several times to just step away from the vehicle, which he did.
She has a breakdown. She has bipolar.
You back up and let me talk.
Okay. You can do it.
Yep, back up. Just back up.
Yeah, back up because I'm going to rip her out.
Just stand over there. If you want our help, that's fine. Go over there. It's that simple. I speak Spanish. That means you translate.
Again, she's very obviously in a psychotic state. She's not demonstrating that she's a threat to herself or anyone else. Her lawyer describes her behavior as whimsical and childlike and not the least bit aggressive or threatening.
You should have said never mind.
Mira, aquí están mis piecitos, amor, mira ese dedito.
¿Cuál es su nombre, señora? ¿Cuál es su nombre?
¿Qué hora es?
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Primero me dice la hora.
La hora son las 10 de la mañana. ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Natalia Andrea Granada Mejía. Mire, ya, mire.
¿Pero qué le está pasando hoy?
Mire, me tenía que haber hecho las uñas. Y no me las hice.
I should have gotten my nails.
Ustedes están aquí.
If you speak English,
Vaya, no, eso ya no se hace.
The other deputy then went and got more information from her cousin Alex, who told her that she was diagnosed bipolar and schizophrenia and stated that he had all of her paperwork. Alex pleaded with Deputy Redfeam to help Nathalia without hurting her.
I'm her sponsor.
So what? Okay, talk to me real quick.
Okay.
So what's your name? Who are you?
My name is Alexander Granada.
Okay.
Surprised you didn't
I'm her
lock him
sponsor
up too.
and my mother. My mother is her godmother, and
Hang on. Let me get your.
She, please, if you can help me.
Hey, we're gonna help you, but
she has. I have all her paperwork.
Okay.
She has bipolar syndrome with
she's
schizophrenia.
diagnosed.
Yes, she's diagnosed. So she just came.
Self-diagnosed or
No. She's been diagnosed for years. She doesn't have her medication for already a few months. She came into the country on March, but she was held in ICE for almost 3 months.
God.
So this affected a lot her condition. And then she, came out. And she's been good all these 6 months. She's been all right. This is the first time I see her like this.
What's your date of birth?
But please, I know she's like a little bit, distressed. But please, if you can help me without hurting her or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you guys notice
to
something?
bring her to the
Why is he asking this guy's date of birth? Why are we at that point of him asking this man's date of birth? He's not the issue. I know exactly why he's asking. He's asking because he's hoping he's going to get an arrest out of this, because like he said, she was detained by ICE, and so on. So then she was released. And so, yeah, they don't medicate anybody. So, you got somebody who's had no medication and this is what's going to happen. Now, what I don't understand is why he didn't try to take her to a psychiatric hospital, like, immediately, call one of those crisis numbers, something like that, because I can take one look at this guy and tell, not him, the cop, and tell by the questions he's asking that this is so bad. Get away from this cop, seriously.
Since last night.
You drove her here?
I came over here because my mom.
Did you drive her or she drive?
No. I brought her here, yeah. But all I know, she needs the medication. But I have all her paperwork. Okay. She has, bipolar syndrome with schizophrenia, this and that, whatever.
She take medication.
Deputy Murillo then asked Redfeam if this was going to be a Baker Act, which means an involuntary commitment under Florida law, to which Redfeam responded, yeah, she's schizophrenic bipolar. Murillo then instructed Deputy Redfeam to stay on the driver's side of the vehicle, and he was going to the passenger side of the vehicle. And Deputy Redfeam attempted to inform Murillo that he had learned about Nathalia's mental health from Alex, stating she's schizophrenic and bipolar and not taking her medications.
She take medication in Colombia regularly.
Yeah, she's schizophrenic bipolar. Yeah.
But Deputy Murillo, again, did not want to hear it and instead cut him off, saying, I don't need her whole life.
Oh my God.
I need the whole life.
Deputy Murillo then opened the passenger side door and Nathalia turned towards him. Murillo stated the following in Spanish. Miss Nathalia, please get out of the car. Are you going to come out willingly or will I have to pull you out with the chain? He said. And I don't want to do that.
The truth is, she doesn't have to come out for him.
Nathalia pleaded with him no, and she refused to exit the truck. According to her lawyer, she didn't do or say anything in Spanish that could be interpreted as a threat to herself or a threat to anyone else. Nevertheless, Deputy Murillo then took hold of Nathalia's right arm and he placed a handcuff on her right wrist, stating in Spanish, I'm not going to hurt you. Are you going to refuse to leave? Nathalia did not pull her right arm away, allowed Deputy Murillo to handcuff her. Nathalia extended her left arm out towards the driver's side door, away from Murillo and resting it over the armrest. Deputy Murillo demanded in Spanish, give me the other arm. Nathalia pleaded, ya, which likely means wait, and she refused to give him her left arm. So only 5 or 6 minutes after he had arrived on scene, and only 1 minute after being informed that Nathalia suffered from a serious mental illness, Deputy Murillo quickly and forcibly yanked her out of the vehicle by the chain as he threatened that he would do.
Oh, aren't you glad you asked them for help?
Nathalia, who did not understand that he had planned to do this, pleaded with him. Amor, ya, still using terms of endearment when addressing Murillo. She's attempting to de-escalate the situation while Murillo is acting in a hostile and aggressive manner. The other deputy then runs around to the passenger side of the truck where Nathalia was already lying on her back on the concrete, with Deputy Murillo standing over her demanding in Spanish, give me your other arm, give me your other arm. Nathalia was scared. She didn't understand what was happening to her. Deputy Murillo managed to turn her over onto her stomach, keeping one knee on her buttocks and lower back. The two deputies then restrained her face down. And a third officer, Deputy Canino.
I would be fucked because I've had surgery there. And there's still like pieces of nerve like stuck in there's like pieces of disc, that hardened, that's stuck in the nerves. So I know it sounds so gross, like I hate even saying it, but if I lay on the floor, I can feel like that ball, like it's like a ball, and like when I like work out or something, like to tone up, I can't do sit-ups. Okay, so I found another way by lifting my leg, doing leg lifts and using my stomach muscles to do it, if you get my drift. So I'm toning my legs and my stomach. Because even if I try to do crunches, but if somebody put their knee on my back, oh my God. And I would tell them too that I have it, because this way, if they do it after I say it, no, I don't like this, guys. I don't like it.
Appeared at Nathalia's head. He maneuvered her right handcuffed hand behind her back,
I
with
need
her
to
palm
sit-
turned out
there you
and the
go.
back of her hand resting against her lower back. Then brutally, Deputy Murillo then forced Nathalia's left arm down backwards, snapping her left humerus
Back
bone.
left?
You can actually hear the bone breaking. It's quite loud, and it's acknowledged by the deputies on the body cam.
Ay, mi amor, mira la ola, mami, mami, ya me hizo muy duro, me hizo muy duro, son las 9:05. Mami, bueno, mi amor, mi amor, el celular, mi amor. Ay,
Step back. Step back.
Right.
Deputy
Axel,
Canino then held Nathalia's broken left arm down backwards at a
Oh,
visibly unnatural
God.
angle, while Deputy Murillo placed the handcuff on her broken left arm.
Mami, bueno, perdón, mami. Ya estoy aquí, yo no lo vuelvo a hacer, mi amor. Ya paré.
Right, Anonymous?
It's okay.
Murillo then pulled on Nathalia's broken left arm to turn her over and sat her upright. Nathalia continued speaking nonsensically to Deputy Murillo, stating, "You told me it was only 9:05 in the morning here, my love. I was going to wait for you."
Hágase el lado.
What?
Ahora súbase para arriba.
Me dijiste que aquí solamente eran las 9:05 de la mañana. Mi amor, ya yo te iba a esperar.
¿Qué drogas? ¿Que haya hecho drogas?
Estás doliendo.
Despite being confused, in a psychotic state, and in excruciating physical pain, Nathalia still spoke with kindness towards Deputy Murillo, this man who had just yanked her out by the chain of her own vehicle and broke her arm by forcing it down backwards behind her back.
Mira ese
¿Qué
dedito.
medicina no ha tomado?
Mira ese dedito. Mami, yo no tengo. Ya volví.
Damn it.
Ya volví.
Hey, Canino, grab a wheelchair.
She's not gonna walk.
Mire la hora.
She just needs some medication.
My God, you're really going off.
Mira el
Sounds
celular.
like me talking to
Mira, ahí está el
myself.
cargador, ahí está el cargador.
I start talking
And that's
really
where the body cam
fast to
ends.
myself.
Her lawyer told me that after this, she was immediately wheeled into the hospital.
Kidding.
She was indeed Baker acted, so she was committed and then placed in a sort of a lockdown psychiatric
I'm
facility.
sure.
She had to undergo surgery. An orthopedic surgeon
Oh.
had to essentially pin her arm back together.
And see, now there's the problem, okay? The lady needed psych help, right? This goon breaks her arm, okay? Which I'm sure hurts like a biatch, all right? He's kneeling on her. He's doing all these things. She's not in reality. She's probably terrified, okay? And then when she gets into the hospital, now a doctor has to deal with her broken arm that she should not have while she's in the middle of a breakdown. So I really do hope, for her sake and the doctor's sake, that they gave her very strong pain medication, okay, for real, and a sedative or something, because this is just, I mean, every time I think it can't get any worse, it gets worse in this
And it never completely healed. She still is left with these pins in her arm, decreased mobility, just as a result of this incident.
We got 4
on top
minutes.
of all the mental issues that she already has been dealing with and that her family has to deal with. So a lawsuit was filed against the deputies involved and also their employer. And the main issue here is clearly excessive force. Even though they said that they would help, let's just assume that they're allowed to take her into custody forcefully if necessary under the Baker Act. And what's the reasoning for that? That would be because she poses a danger to herself or other people, primarily herself. She needs to get inside the hospital. She needs to be given her medications forcefully if necessary. Here, there are 2 main problems. One, Deputy Murillo rushed into this thing without getting the necessary information. He just kind of shoved everybody aside and he's going to take care of everything himself because he speaks Spanish.
She has a breakdown. She has bipolar.
You back up and let me talk.
Okay, okay.
You gotta stand all the way over there. You know what? Go to the other part.
Please go over there. Please stand over there. If you want our help, that's fine. Go over there. That's simple. I speak Spanish. That means you translate. Okay.
He didn't gather the facts, even as they're trying to tell him the facts. He's not wanting to hear it.
She's schizophrenic bipolar. She's not taking
I don't need the whole life.
In large police departments, such as they have in Broward County, they have policies on how to deal with severe mental issues when they encounter them. They have resources that rural agencies don't have when it comes to dealing with people with severe mental health issues. There was no emergency here where he had to act before anyone else who knew better could assist. Instead, he resorted to just raw violence, yanking her out of the vehicle. And do I even have to explain that it was unnecessary and constitutionally excessive to bend her arm the wrong way to handcuff her? How barbaric was that? Completely unnecessary, cruel is just one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. And then, as I told you at the very beginning, he wrote in his report, it was just basically a routine handcuffing. He heard a sound, but he mentions nothing about breaking her arm in half. After a brief struggle, I was able to get control of her left arm and place it behind her back, which allowed me to properly and safely detain her. I heard a popping sound, but was unaware of what it was.
The popping
I mean, this guy seems like a real psychopath. But you say, I don't really care. She shouldn't have been here anyways. She was from Colombia. She was already mentally ill. Why is she even in this country to begin with? I don't really care what happens to her. It's been long established that it doesn't matter whether you're legally in this country or you're illegally in this country or somewhere in between, and who knows what's going on at the current moment. One thing we do know is that police officers still have the same restrictions on them as far as trampling people's constitutional rights. Do we really want that guy just himself deciding who gets their humerus broken for no good reason? No, of course not. Constitutional rights are something that you either protect and enforce or you don't. And I would argue just the opposite, that I don't really care how this woman got here. What is really most important to me is that she is absolutely helpless. Like, she needs help. I don't know what kind of help specifically she needs, but I do know that it wasn't yanking her out of the vehicle and snapping her arm in half. My job as a civil rights lawyer is to help the most helpless among us. And this woman certainly is that. If you would deny her basic, not just constitutional rights, but basic human rights, then how do you deserve them yourself? If you let this police officer be judge, jury, and executioner, do you trust him when he pulls over and encounters your daughter or your granddaughter? No, of course not. Like I said, this guy seems like a complete idiot and a psychopath. Perhaps he needs to be Baker acted. As far as I know, he's still out there encountering the public with his badge and his gun. In fact, from what I've heard from this woman's lawyer, she is still terrified of this guy. And despite that, knowing that, the lawsuit's going on now, and when they take her deposition, it's coming up, I think, later this week, they want him in the room with her to purposefully terrorize her. How sick is that? The abuse continues. Hopefully we'll have an update on what happens here. You can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom.
That was so fucked up. Right, my imaginary dog. Because I don't have a dog. I used to a long time ago, and it was a Pomeranian. It was bought to keep my mother, before she died, company. And he was very protective of her. He was also very attached to my father, who walked him and stuff. And he was best little gizmo. And he would shake in the car. He did not like to go in the car, right? and driving from like road trips, like through a couple of states, you know, he would shake the entire time. And I felt so sorry. And I'm like, having to stop and give him water and everything. Yeah, we had first got a big dog, but she couldn't take, like, you know how they jump on you and stuff. She couldn't take it. And I understood. We all understood. And then recently, you know, there was a cat that's been, God, I was about 20 years old, maybe a little more. I'm not. And when I first started this channel, you used to hear meows in the background, because when they get older, they meow a lot. And then unfortunately, it broke my heart. She had to be, you know, put down. And she came into the bathroom that morning, looked up at me, and was just like, please, I can't go on anymore. Like, you could tell that's what she was saying to me, and then just collapsed on the floor. And like, you know, that wasn't her usual. So this nice place we found came out and did it. And oh man, I still cry, you know, sometimes when I think of her. But she had a really good life. And let me tell you, if you have had a cat, you know, you don't own the cat owns your ass. Okay, so let's see. Let me see something, because I gotta see let me check something real quick about how long this one is. All right, well, okay, we're going to go into let me get rid of that. We watched it. And let me see how long this one is. Okay. Now, I had another, like, this other video, and it's like longer. So I think that's something that we're going to keep for, like, it could be a whole video, you know, and it's something else. So, but we're going to check out a different, something a little different here. Well, no, it's you know, true story, truth, whatever, everything. Aw, corgi, and overweight. Corgi. I'd be pissed if you were my owner. That made no sense. It didn't make an ounce of sense. All right, let's roll. Rolling, rolling. Keep those doggies rolling along. Oh, that hurt. All right. Okay.
Security camera, outside room 113, 11:47 p.m. A girl rushes out, moving quickly, desperately. 4 seconds pass. A man follows. They disappear from the screen. 4 minutes later, they both return. This time, he grabs her arm, forcing her back inside. She resists every step of the way. Her body seems to be pulling away. 15-year-old Elizabeth Ennin has only minutes left, because the man in the hallway, the man her family has trusted for over 20 years, has decided that she will never return home. Tonight, Elizabeth thinks she's earning money for her brother's birthday. Tonight, this man chooses the unthinkable instead of accepting the consequences. This is the story of how surveillance footage turned one family's nightmare into undeniable truth.
She was very bubbly and
outgoing and she loved singing and
she loved
dancing,
life. Here it
and she was-
comes.
Her mother, Virginia, describes her as mouthy at times, but with a sweetness that was undeniable. She was becoming a young lady, taking on more responsibilities, eager to help others.
Damn,
On this particular evening,
I had
she was
her
babysitting
vibe.
for the Salinas family, close friends the Ennons had known for years. The family was temporarily staying at the Carriage House Motel while searching for a new home. Bert Salinas, the father, viewed Elizabeth almost like a daughter. Virginia trusted him completely. When Elizabeth left that evening, carrying nothing but her purse, neither mother nor daughter imagined it would be their final goodbye. The hours tick by, midnight comes and goes.
Let me tell
Virginia
you guys,
expects her daughter home any minute.
every time somebody that you care about leaves or goes somewhere or whatever, always say, if there's someone you love, say I love you. If it's somebody you care a lot about, just say please be careful, something, because you never know what could happen. If I don't know. I just I got into that habit when somebody passed away, and fortunately our last words were I love you. And I woke up the next morning. Well, no, that late at night we were on a night day schedule, and he was on the floor. And I just can remember thinking how lucky and how glad I was that I had said I love you and all that before we went to sleep, Okay, let's go.
But 1:30 in the morning arrives, and there's still no sign of Elizabeth. Concern begins creeping into worry. Then comes a knock at the door. Elizabeth's brother Kevin rushes to answer, expecting to see his sister. Instead, standing on the porch is Bert Salinas, holding Elizabeth's purse. Bert explains he's returning the purse Elizabeth forgot in his car. He tells Virginia he dropped Elizabeth off
the link
just 15 minutes earlier, watched her open the screen door. She must be upstairs sleeping, he suggests. But Virginia searches the house top to bottom. Elizabeth is nowhere to be found.
Why are they blocking her eyes?
Come in the door.
This makes no sense. Elizabeth was afraid of the dark. She would never stay outside alone at night. Something is terribly wrong. Virginia calls the police immediately. Officers arrive and take statements. Bert appears genuinely worried, confirming he drove Elizabeth home around 1 a.m. after she finished babysitting.
Thank you.
His wife and children back up his story. They'd all been out playing bingo together. Police urge the family to stay calm. Teenagers sometimes make impulsive decisions. Maybe she's with friends, maybe even a boyfriend. She'll probably turn up in the morning. Virginia's told to wait 24 hours, but waiting feels impossible.
Please, don't tell me this is the fucking shit that the police told her family. Please don't tell me that, because I am so sick of police doing that. Oh, she ran off with a boyfriend. She'll be back. Teenagers do this all the time. Blah, 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 blah. Stick it up your ass, okay? Because let me tell you something. Parents know their children. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You know your children, okay? You know if they come home on time. You know if they would just run off with somebody, but when something doesn't feel right, like my daughter never would, this is not her, I would be fighting like there's no freaking tomorrow, because absolutely not. No, I gotta take an ibuprofen, guys. Sorry, my throat is killing me. And it's swollen. Okay, as I'm yelling my head off. Well, swollen like in a weird spot. So we're lucky I can yell and scream. Yay! Okay. So, anyway, I just do not like that. Wait till tomorrow. She's 15. Oh my God. No, we're not waiting. I would say she's 15 and you're going to start looking for her now. She always comes back. Oh, exactly. Axelot, couldn't say it better myself. Mother's instincts are strong. When you feel it really strongly that they are not okay, trust it. Exactly. Oh my God. I mean, well said, because it's true. Like if your kid is one of those kids that takes off all the time after babysitting, does sneak out to see their boyfriend, you're not going to freak out and call the police right away. Okay. But when they don't do that, that's when you do. I mean, police have to start getting on the ball. I mean, this is a minor.
Sinking feeling that this was not normal. Elizabeth wouldn't leave without her cell phone. What 15-year-old goes anywhere without their phone? When a young person plans to run away, they don't just leave home with nothing. The next day arrives. Still no word from Elizabeth. Virginia calls the police again, panic rising in her voice. She's a scared mother needing answers.
I'd be down
Crucial
there.
time has been lost. Officers return to speak with Bert Salinas, the last person to see Elizabeth alive. He repeats his story. Arrived at the motel around 6:30 with Elizabeth, left with his wife and older daughter for bingo, returned at 1 a.m, gave Elizabeth a ride home at 1:30. Realized she'd left her purse, drove back to return it. The account checks out. His family confirms every detail. But now it's been 24 hours since anyone has seen Elizabeth Ennin. Investigators begin contacting her friends, family, neighbors. Was there an argument, a reason she might want to leave? Who were her close friends she might stay with? Then Virginia calls with potential breakthrough information. One of Elizabeth's school friends believes she saw her in a white car at the intersection of 98th Street and Indiana Avenue. Police rushed to the location 8 miles away. That was a great moment of hope. If somebody had seen her, she was okay. They could get her home. That was what they clung to. Just the hope of her coming home. When investigators arrive, there's no sign of Elizabeth or any white car, but they spot something else.
Made no sense.
A gas station at the intersection with a surveillance camera pointed toward the road. Has that camera captured video of Elizabeth in the white car? Will this silent witness help police find Elizabeth Ennin before it's too late? In a back room, investigators cue up the tape. The quality is low, grainy. They rewind to the approximate time of the sighting. Minutes pass. Then they see it. A white car pulls up, parking almost out of range. The driver's door opens. They zoom in, trying to identify who gets out. But it's impossible to see clearly. 6 minutes later, the door opens again and the car drives away. They attempt to get the license plate number, but the video is too grainy. The promising tip has led nowhere. Even if Elizabeth was in that white car, police don't know where she's gone. The family is devastated. That just meant they still didn't know where she was. They were lost and felt lost. Police are back to square one. But these seasoned investigators have a theory. In most runaway cases, teenagers leave to be with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Does Elizabeth have a boyfriend who might have whisked her away? At this question, both Virginia and Bert Salinas go quiet. They reveal Elizabeth did have a boyfriend. Bert's 19-year-old son, Umberto. The age difference was too much for Elizabeth's mother. The teenagers were told they could not see each other. It was understood that Elizabeth was upset over this. Police now think they have the case nearly wrapped up. Humberto and Elizabeth are most likely together. At this point, investigators simply assume she was a runaway because she wanted to stay with her older boyfriend. Bert believed his son and Elizabeth had left together. Police immediately start looking for Humberto Salinas. He has theft charges against him, and despite multiple calls, he's not answering his phone. Even more concerning, Bert shares a troubling suspicion about his son. If Elizabeth makes Humberto mad, if she's with him, he might do something to harm her. Investigators visit Humberto's registered address. He isn't there, and it looks like he hasn't been for a while. Humberto Salinas doesn't want to be located. He won't return phone calls to police or his own family members. It's now clear to police that Elizabeth is hiding with her boyfriend Humberto, making this a runaway case,
Well, I know
not
why
an
we
abduction.
have such a small.
Her family doesn't agree. The police were telling them she was a runaway, and the whole time they knew it wasn't true. 13 long days passed with no word from Elizabeth. Police have moved on to other business, but Elizabeth's family is frantic. She didn't run away. Virginia puts up flyers until 2 or 3 in the morning all over town. As a mother, she was looking for her child. She wanted her baby back. By now, local media has picked up the story of the missing girl. Elizabeth's face appears on television screens and newspapers all over West Texas. Virginia makes emotional appeals.
If you see this and everything, please just come home. Call Mama.
The increased media interest brings dozens of tips. Most go nowhere. Then on day 15, a tip comes in that gets their attention. A woman says she's seen Elizabeth Ennin and Humberto Salinas at a dollar store in central Lubbock. Investigators rush to the store. The manager confirms a young woman and her boyfriend were seen there. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. This makes police feel better. If she's just going around shopping, more than likely she's a runaway, not someone who's been kidnapped or harmed. But there's only one way to be sure. They retrieve video footage from the store. In the office, the manager cues up the tape from internal security cameras. He presses play, and 10 minutes in, they spot something. There are moments when you first put the footage in that you're excited, because being able to spot her on video would really bring answers to the investigation.
Literally.
They scour every frame. Then they spot a young girl about Elizabeth's age with a man who could be her boyfriend. They followed the pair through the store on different cameras, hoping for a good look at their faces. The girl matches Elizabeth's size and body shape. Even her hair is the right color. But then the girl suddenly turns and looks straight at the camera. That's when it becomes clear. It's not Elizabeth Ennin. It's a younger woman with another gentleman, another dead end. It's very disappointing having to contact Virginia and let her know there was no merit to that tip. Very disappointing and disheartening. So far, no sightings have come to anything. There's been no activity on Elizabeth's social media. She doesn't have her mobile phone. It's starting to look less like Elizabeth and Humberto just ran off together. You can deal with a runaway scenario a lot easier than dealing with the fact that your child has been taken. Elizabeth's boyfriend Humberto is still missing. Police escalate the investigation, bringing in kidnapping expert Detective Ray Martinez.
Wow.
He's known as someone who could get people to talk. Detective Martinez speaks with Bert Salinas again. Perhaps he'll provide a new lead in the search for his son. Anytime there's a big age difference between teenagers, it's certainly a red flag. Martinez discovers that Humberto has recently fallen in with a bad crowd and often doesn't come home for days at a time. Bert gives police a list of friends his son could be staying with. Officers hit every house on the list.
Okay, wait. So Bert. Okay, wait. I'm confused. Okay, so the guy that we just saw standing there, and they said, you know, is that Elizabeth's brother? That's Elizabeth's brother, right? And then, because I thought Bert was the name of the guy who she was babysitting for. So I got a little confused. I hope you guys don't mind if I go back just a tiny little bit right there. Okay, this is her brother and
only a red flag. Martinez discovers that Humberto has recently fallen in with a bad crowd and often doesn't come home for days at a time. Bert gives police a list of friends his son could be staying with. Officers hit every house on the list.
That's helped me.
Finally, a young woman tells police she saw Humberto several days before. She knows exactly where he is right now. He's off donating blood. Or that's what he told his friend. When police find out Humberto is at the plasma center, they get excited. Maybe they're getting to the end of this investigation. All they want to do is locate Elizabeth and reunite her with her mother. They arrive just in time and spot Humberto at the clinic. It's time to find out exactly what he knows about Elizabeth's
At the beginning, they showed the camera at the hotel and where she was babysitting for a family friend. And she looked like she was running out of there. Okay. And then she gets pulled. Somebody else comes and out and is going past, and then he brings her back or something. And she's never seen again. Why was she fleeing? You know? So he was doing something to her and she fled. And so now he's thinking, well, now I have to, get rid of her because she's going to tell. That's where I'm at. See, surveillance shows him drag her back inside.
Appearance. They bring him in for questioning. Detective Martinez goes to work on his suspect. When interviewing Humberto, Martinez tries to gauge if at any point he becomes emotional or defensive about his relationship with Elizabeth. They grill him for hours. Humberto swears up and down he has no idea where Elizabeth is.
You didn't see her at all that day?
No.
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 How many times did you talk to her on the phone?
Once.
Do you prove any of this?
Check my phone.
Then he says he broke things off because his father didn't want him to have anything to do with an underage girl. He advises investigators the last time he spoke with Elizabeth was over the phone the night before she went missing.
Like the father
She
wanted
just wanted
her.
to come over to my house. I said no, okay? We got in a fight and I hang up on her, okay?
After that phone call, he never saw or spoke to her again. Martinez and his partner both feel Humberto is very calm and cooperative. They gauge he's telling the truth. Up to this point, police believed that once they found Humberto, they would find Elizabeth. But Humberto's story adds up. Their most experienced interrogator believes him. There's not a shred of evidence against him.
Yay, Diet Coke!
Their best lead turns out to be a dead end. Now they're back to square one. If Elizabeth didn't run off with Humberto, where did she go? Detective Martinez revisits the timeline of the night Elizabeth disappeared. Is it possible she realized she'd left her purse back at the motel and walked back for it herself? Police start tracing the route she could have taken, looking for clues along the way. Did Elizabeth come back to the motel alone late at night? They start questioning guests about whether they saw her. Are they now looking at something more ominous than just a teenage runaway? Then investigators spot something that gives them the lead they're looking for. There are surveillance cameras at the motel. 4 of them. The footage from all 4 cameras is sent back to the station. Police are about to get their first glimpse of Elizabeth since she went missing. The footage from the Carriage Motel is queued up and ready to go. Everyone watches it together on a monitor. There are several cameras to choose from. They start with the one positioned just outside the Selena's room, room 113. They queue up to around the time Bert said Elizabeth arrived. The footage is low quality and only shows a frame every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes, they watch an empty corridor. Then at 6:18 in the evening, they spot a figure walking toward the camera. They zoom in but can't identify him. It looks like there might be someone behind him. They step forward a single frame. That's Elizabeth. The video is of poor quality, but good enough where they can recognize it's Elizabeth Ennin. Police finally have a glimpse of the missing teenager. The first positive identification since the search began. The man with her is family friend Bert Salinas. The tape shows that just as Bert said, Elizabeth arrived around 6:30 to babysit. 25 minutes later, Bert, his wife, and daughter head out for a night out. Just as Bert had told police, investigators feel more at ease at this point, thinking the video would be another step they could cross off, then move on to the next step and eventually find her. Police hope footage from the next camera positioned in the hotel lobby can tell them more. Again, they scroll to around the time Elizabeth arrived. A couple minutes in, they see a figure in jeans and a white top. She's coming down the stairs with a man with his hood up. The man is about the same size as Elizabeth's boyfriend, Humberto. Could it be him? But the man is deliberately hiding his face, and the video is so grainy they can't see who it is. If this is Elizabeth's boyfriend, he's doing a good job hiding his identity. But there are 3 other cameras in the motel. This hooded mystery man might show up on one of them. Detectives have now been trolling through footage for hours. There are several false alarms, but no sign of the man who looks like Elizabeth's mystery boyfriend. Then around 10:45 in the evening on the corridor camera, they spot something unusual. They back the tape up and play it again. It's Bert Salinas heading back to his room in the Carriage Motel,
Oh,
the room where
Fernette.
Elizabeth
I
Ennin
know.
is babysitting his
I
2
know.
daughters.
That's why
What's
I
he
don't
doing
care
back so
right
early?
now that
That's
sitting
strange.
here with-
It's
that it
10:45,
dropped
but he
to
told
3
police he didn't get
people.
back to the room until 11:30.
From
Surveillance video
what
has just
started
caught
out
Bert
at
Salinas
10
in a lie.
or
Investigators
12.
watch
I
the
know
camera
what
covering the corridor
doing,
outside room 113 for another hour.
No.
Nobody comes in or out.
I can't.
Finally, at 11:47 in the evening, they spot something. As they watch it for the first time, they see Elizabeth walk out rather fast from the room. But Elizabeth is not alone. She's followed by someone. It's Bert Salinas. Looks like he's running after her. What's he up to? What's going on here? Detectives watch as Elizabeth hurries off camera, followed by Bert. She only appears in a single frame, but that means 4 seconds have passed. In that time, she reaches the end of the corridor. She's running, and it looks very much like she's running from Bert Salinas. From this camera angle, it's impossible to see where they're heading.
Okay, so
To find
I
out,
see what happened. The first time that they saw them and she was behind him, that's when she showed up to babysit. And then now he's, you know, now it's different.
Investigators must keep scouring every frame of the motel security footage, and the next thing they see will be horrifying. All of us in there are just in disbelief of what we're seeing. Moments later, they walk back. He is holding her arm. She does not seem pleased to be going back to the room they came from. Just 8 minutes later, Elizabeth Ennin and Bert exit room 113 again and walk down the corridor.
My head off.
Detectives switch between the motel's cameras trying to track the pair. This time, they notice that Elizabeth is holding something in her hands. They punch in and try to make out what it is. They enlarge the shot. She had to leave room 113 in a hurry. Exciting is maybe not the right word, but they're excited for the first time to have some concrete evidence. Just a few minutes later, on the same lobby camera, they see something that chills these hardened detectives to the bone. Salinas is trying to walk Elizabeth out, and she turns in a different direction and runs toward a different door than where he was going. As he turns around and kind of corners her into the corner, that was very telling that she is terrified. Elizabeth seems to be cowering in the corner as Bert approaches her. He takes her by the arm and walks out of camera range to the parking lot. They keep rewinding it and can see the interaction where she pulls away from him. She's being defensive, trying to get away from him. It brought tears to investigators' eyes. It's pretty obvious she didn't want to be near him and that he was actually trying to control her. It's clear that something very troubling happened in room 113, something Bert never told police.
Right.
He took Elizabeth from his room that night and walked her out toward the parking lot. Detectives send a patrol car out to the Carriage Motel and pick up Bert Salinas. From the very onset of meeting him, he always referred to Elizabeth as being like his daughter. Detective Martinez tells him, "Is that really the truth?" Bert denies anything untoward happened that night until Detective Martinez tells him they have it all on tape. He sits there just looking down. After a short time, Martinez asks what's on his mind. Bert keeps looking down and starts crying. Then he tells Martinez he was right. He had ended her life, and he says he wants to tell them where she's at. Bert guides police to a broken down part of the city dotted with abandoned buildings.
My God,
there wasn't much
why?
conversation. They drive down a dirt road for what seems like a very long time. Martinez begins questioning if they're on the right road. Bert has guided them behind a shed. Elizabeth Ennin has lost her life. Humberto Salinas is taken to jail. A parent's worst nightmare is to be told their child is gone. It was a quiet ride to Virginia's home. When the detectives showed up, there were 3 of them, and Elizabeth wasn't in the car. They got out and came up to the porch. Virginia started backing away from them because in her heart, she knew what they were going to say. She collapsed on the porch, just kept saying no. I'm supposed to go first, not my daughter. No Hollywood movie can ever show the true emotion of that mother's scream. Detective Martinez suspects that Bert Salinas came home intoxicated and crossed a line with Elizabeth. His motivation, whatever Elizabeth Ennin would have revealed to her mother, he was going to suffer the consequences.
I knew it.
In hindsight, when he grabbed her from the video, Martinez thinks he had it in his mind at that point he was going to have to silence her. He made that decision at that time and did that shortly thereafter. It was just her smile that lit up a room. She was just so
They
precious.
always light up
On
rooms.
April 5th, 2012, Bert Salinas II pleads guilty to capital crimes and is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Good.
You teach your kids to be aware of strangers, but when it's somebody you know and you trust, your kids trust them. They're the
And
last
they
ones
shouldn't.
you would ever dream could do something so horrible. Without surveillance footage, no one would have believed it. At one point,
Sorry, I have to stop it so it doesn't start. Okay, guys. Thank you so much to you guys who did stick around. I know there was a bunch of hoopla going on elsewhere, so everybody was over there. I should check things before I go live, but you know what? Screw that. I'm going. If somebody wants to watch me or hang out over here, then yeah, then I'm here. All right, you guys. So yeah. All right. Just I guess I could say hit like, even though it's kind of pathetic, but look, don't worry about it, Axelot. Really, don't even get involved, really. So anyway, so you guys have a great rest of your night. Oh, I am going to hold on. I'm going to hit that link from No Nudes. Okay. And boop, put it on my history. I don't want to say because I don't want to get, but I'll speak to you privately though, okay? Like in a message, okay? So, okay. I will, let me take this down, and I will see you guys on the next one. And now I'll be able to do the members only on this weekend. So yeah, look forward to that. I love doing those because I say some, fucked up shit all the time. All right. You guys have a really great day. Yeah, because if I say then I'm involved, then I don't want to be, okay? Like I really don't. Okay. So, all right, you guys, thanks again, and I will see you on the next one. You guys have a really great and safe night, okay? And day, wherever you are. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Oops, I'm going to take my face down. Bye. Don't forget to hit that like button. And comment if you can, please. I'd appreciate it.